Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm KJ. Today is going to be a sip and share, and mostly it's about looking back and moving forward, and me kind of evaluating time spent on YouTube and so on. So just full disclaimer, it's mostly me thinking out loud, and if that is not your cup of tea, no shame, no worries. Okay, but let's just get into it because I can't really predict how much I'm gonna ramble. So my first cup of tea today is Monday, January 2nd, and I didn't have any tea yesterday. Yesterday we took a walk. We had family over for dinner, so we had to go to the grocery store last minute, and yada, yada, yada. Had coffee though, needed coffee. But this is my first cup of tea for 2023, and it is Simply Hibiscus by David's Tea. So it's literally just hibiscus in a cup. It is tart, but I don't know, I was just feeling it. I also feel like I'm a little bit stressed and that maybe my blood pressure is elevated, so perhaps a consistent cup of hibiscus might be helpful. So first thing to note in the comments, what was your first tea of 2023? Did you have it like the night of December 31st? Or did you like wake up and you're like, okay, what are we starting with? I don't know. It's also quite funny that I didn't start with a caffeinated cup of tea either. So, was yours caffeinated? Were you doing it for health reasons? Very interested. I'm also like still trying to figure out, I know why I did this, but I can't believe I actually went through with it. See what I mean about the ramble? Okay, so let's just get right into it. So again, this is just me thinking out loud about like, what are we doing here on YouTube? Why? What is TeaTube? And just kind of looking back at some of the memories that I've garnered and some of the barriers that I've encountered and just the hopefulness that I have moving forward. So I want to kind of say that I've been wanting to do a video like this since 2021. So 2 years ago, 2021, I was going to debut this like full workup of a video about like my accomplishments so far and what I was really looking forward to. And I'll tell you why I didn't get around to it. But just recently, Dana DeStefano retired from TeaTube, from YouTube. And I don't know, that was just like, it was sad to hear as like a tea community, like watcher person. But all of her reasons were like spot on. So like does not bring her joy. Very time consuming. And she was very consistent with video content. And, you know, she's like found things that she likes to do and invest her time in. So I think that's great. But definitely will miss Dana. Pretty sure she like still gonna drink tea on Instagram and she has her handles and her YouTube is still up. But I don't know, it's just like, the reality, like this person is not gonna be posting any more content. Similarly, in December of 2021, Lauren over at Steeping Time also retired from TeaTube, from YouTube. And oh man, it's just rough. And there's been a lot of people over the years. I don't know if you guys remember Anna. I forget her last name. It may have been Smith, but I doubt it. But there was Anna. She had daughters that did YouTube with her. There was Brittany, who also had daughters, who used to do like hauls every once in a while. So there's a lot of people that have just like come and gone, and that's life, right? People don't owe us anything. This is the internet. People don't owe us like this huge commitment. But I don't know. It's just like, if you're into it, then you kind of feel it and you understand, so you move on, but like still kind of sad. So that is what prompted me to do this video now. Okay, so let's talk about, and I have a little tiny agenda. Let's talk about like why I got into TeaTube. So I used to drink bag tea, specifically really only green tea, green bag tea and bag chai. And I used to load it up with milk and sugar. And then my best friend Mish bought me some loose leaf tea, I'm pretty sure, from Teavana. But we used to go together. Like we used to sample it. And honestly, like it's been so long. I did kind of make a story in a sip and share about Mish. It's in the Love You a Latte series. So if you're interested in, like, she is kind of the beginning of that story. It's there somewhere. But that's how I got into tea. So Teavana. Then I was like, wow, this is like new. The tea ritual, you know, loose leaf tea. It was just like a step up, very fancy. And then you like discover all of these different types of tea and brewing, and then you get into accessories, and that is how the obsession formed for me. And I would say that was probably like 2016, maybe. So then, I don't know, I think I just stumbled upon like people on YouTube talking about tea because I was trying to figure something out. Maybe like how to use a David's Tea product or how best to do this. Or maybe I was looking for people's tea collections because at that point I was amassing a small, very small collection at this point. And then I found like Tea Time with Mary, and she used to have a really catchy song. It's tea time with Mary. I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but I loved Mary. And then Stephanie over at Tea Leaf Project was there. And so, I don't know, I've watched every single one of Stephanie's videos. And there was a time where I like was rewatching them because like that was the majority of the content out there. I don't know, I just really enjoy her. She's very just fun to watch. So that's what I was doing. And I wanted, so once I saw that was a thing, I wanted a YouTube channel, but I just could not build up the nerve to do it, nor did I feel I had proper background or lighting. It was easy for me to get a tripod, but like, you know, the confidence wasn't there. And then I made my first YouTube video courtesy of my best friend, Alicia, who is also featured in the Love You a Latte series along with Stephanie, who just filmed me talking about my work collection, like my tea collection that I had at work, which was also wildly large. And honestly, it was a little bit of spillover. So a lot of tea was like stuff that I didn't really like, that I didn't like keeping at my house. But also I wanted to encourage people, it was when I was a teacher, just to try stuff and come to me and let's talk about it because I wanted to talk about it. So like my tea collections that are exterior to my house, so like my tea collection at my work now and back then, was an invitation to a conversation. So like, let's talk about tea. That is how I knew that I wanted to just talk about tea. Funny pause. There's like a meme out there that is what it's like to have a podcast or listen to one. And it's basically a real person that's like looking at a poster board very fondly. So it's like, you know, you're talking to this person and they are real, but they're not there, but the connection is strong. So that's what it's like. Like when you watch YouTube videos and you comment and you interact, like you kind of feel like you know the person, just like on Instagram. And when you listen to podcasts, if it is personal to the person that is producing it, then you also kind of feel like you know them. And if you're listening to it because you share that interest, boom, the connection is even stronger. So back to my original point. Did the work collection video in 2018. And then I moved home back to Wisconsin in the summer of 2018. And then waited, gained all this confidence. And I finally put out like my first this kind of YouTube video February 2019. It was the David's Tea Valentine's Day haul. I was psyched. I was using my iPhone, which I still am now, different iPhone, but you know, and the audio is bad, so I had to like plug in my headphones so that it would properly pick up my voice. But that was like the dedication. Like I wanted to do it. I needed to put myself out there, so I did. Very happy about that. Here we are. So then like in the beginning of my channel, most of my content was like hauls. It's like buying tea, finding things, exploring different brands, and just like amassing this large collection, which was fun. It was fun, but it was costly. But that, I mean, I was living my best life. I was without children, unmarried, did not own a house, whatever. And you know, it was like that for a while. And I was not like weekly consistent, but I was pretty consistent putting out content. But I think that the best year that I had was 2020. And while it was I don't curse on this channel, but it was a crap year overall because of the pandemic. it was really good for people to get into their hobbies because all you had was time. People were locked down, you know, stay in the house, like don't go out, don't go to big gatherings. So I was just really honing in on this tea craft and just like doing my heart's desires. And the only thing that really slowed me down was me. And that's just like a thing that I have come to learn about myself. I am overzealous. So I can have a bunch of good ideas, but it is not best when I try to implement them all at one time. And that's sometimes what I try to do with my channel. Like I have a lot of good stuff brewing, but then I get overwhelmed and then nothing gets done. Kind of like when you have a lot to do and you take a nap instead. That. Okay, so now we're at a point where this is where I was gonna share this video 2 years ago for the first time. 2020 was a really good year for me. I was really engaged and I put out a lot of videos and I started an Instagram for this channel and I just felt like, wow, that was great. And I plan to kind of like debrief the year on YouTube with you guys in 2021, but then boom, found out I was pregnant. And then like my whole like priority shifted. And we'll talk more about that. But I don't know. I just want a space for myself. So if you don't want to hear about this, move on. But this is what I'm really proud of. So in 2020, I had a bunch of different, like, I did reviews, I had some series. I think I started Chai Day Friday, did the Love You a Latte series. I collabed a bunch of teas with Fava Tea, which is a local company to me. And I finished a sit down at the end of 2019. And so 2020 was just like strong. Again, Instagram debut. I was just like mind blown about how many people there are on Instagram drinking and sharing tea. And I thought that I had unlocked that world on YouTube. And I was just really missing out because there are a lot of tea dedicated pages and people on Instagram. Jeez. I made a lot of friends. I made friends on tea Instagram that I still talk to today on my personal account. And those are some of the best people. So like, Leslie, I don't know if you follow me here on YouTube, but I'm talking about you. Cameron, I'm talking about you. Like, people that like check on me and like, you know, Stephanie, again, I've been following Stephanie for a long time, but people that I follow on my personal Instagram, like it's a different step, right? Okay. I also had quite a lot of interactions with like tea companies and vendors, which was really interesting. So like, okay, here we go. We're still going. I participated in Tea Together Tuesday, which was like an effort for sharing tea and tea prompts across all platforms, put together by Kimberly, who has a blog and an Instagram, and Tea with Jan, pretty sure. I participated I participated in some tea swaps, particularly 2 super awesome people sent me Espresso Yourself and chocolate hazelnut tea at a time when David's Tea wasn't selling them. That's lovely. And then again, made so many friends on YouTube. So the limitations that I had in 2020 were as follows. I'm in my tea journal. I didn't review tea in real time that I was buying it. So again, there was a lot of hauls, but not a lot of me actually drinking the tea on camera. I mean, I did quite a few reviews, but not nearly as much as the tea that I had bought. Again, lots of hauls. And then, so that just kind of it resulted in an overwhelming inventory of fall teas. So very rich stuff, very chai, very chocolate, very heavy caffeinated black. And I was just kind of over it. And then lastly, just like some stats. So in 2020, I did a total of 20 reviews, mostly from Chai Day Friday, some from Fava Tea. And then video-wise, I was just really proud about all the videos that I put out. So let me see. I'm just going to read them out again. Apologies. In January, it's just 2. February, 6. Jesus. March, none. April, 5. May, 3. June, 3. July, 2. August, 2. September, 5. October, 8. November, 8. December, 6. And then on Instagram, again, some of the companies and things that I interacted with, Fava, David's Tea, I think like commented on a lot of stuff, and they're really good at social media. Harney and Sons liked my story. My Cacao added me to their story from like a thing that I posted. And this was when I was doing my homemade advent calendar, which I'll just link there. And so in relation to the whole advent calendar, slow down, KJ. Most of the interactions that I had with these companies was because of my advent calendar. So I made it myself, and there was 24 teas over, I don't know, maybe a dozen tea brands. LL Bean is not a tea company, but they got involved because that is who my calendar was from. So that was really cool because I want to be an outsider like LL Bean. And then lastly, Enjoy Life Foods also interact with me on Instagram because I posted one of their allergen-free snacks next to some tea. It was a whole lot. But you see what I mean? Like 2020 was nice. And I really felt like I was crushing it. And so again, 2021, I was like, whoa, I'm going like head on. And then like literally middle of January, surprise, you're pregnant. It was lovely. But basically what that meant was like, I really slow down on caffeine. And then all the teas that are like hit or miss with these ingredients that we don't really, you know, it's not that we don't know a lot about them, but we don't know a lot about their interactions with pregnant people and then growing fetuses. So there was a lot of things I was like staying away from. Although I should tell you, most of the time I did have hibiscus, and that is definitely like, actually I think that's 50-50. Like they say like when to have it during your pregnancy, but I had it the whole time. So that's just me. I know. Ugh, I risked it. So yeah, 2021 slowed way down for me, but I actually did put out still quite a few videos for somebody that was like struggling-ish. Like my pregnancy was cool, but I just really would have rather chilled the whole time. So yeah, 2021, we'll just call that like a break. And then 2022, where was I at? Raising this small baby that I had. So 2022 was the year of Gordon, you know, took most of my time and my resources away from my tea, away from myself. And that's like not his problem, not his fault. I'm not blaming him. I'll just call that the year I was trying to like balance motherhood and, you know, just get myself together. So now Gordon's 1. If we're being technical, Gordon's like 15 months. I don't know how people feel about the month discussion, but I feel like he's still young enough to go by months, and it's definitely still very relevant. Like, I also have friends whose children's are also 1, but being 12 months and being 15 or 17 or 19 months is vastly different. So that is important. Okay. So, this is going to be a long video. I don't know, like, obviously what the interaction will be, but again, I'm just putting it out there because I want to, like I need to. We haven't even gotten to what's next. And so I will definitely like put some time stamps in the video so you guys can follow along at your leisure. But now we're back in 2023. What are you doing now? What is the plan? So I'm still here. I want to be here. And I haven't been on YouTube as long as Dana. She was here for 6 years. She made that, you know, very clear, talking about like her intentions and her efforts. And I don't want to leave because I still like talking about tea, and this is the only place I can do it. And I'm not assuming intentions about anybody who has left or is considering leaving. Like when I say I still want to talk about tea, it means like even though I haven't posted as frequently as I'd liked, even though I have videos sitting in a queue, unedited, probably won't get updated, I still want to push forward and make new content and put it out there because I like talking about tea, and this is where I do it. So 2023, just looking at my notes. Okay, I actually have a percentage breakdown. So my collection is quite large, tens, bags, samples. I will do a collection video at some point before February. I'm putting that personal accountability on myself. Also, it'll just make sense if you're following along with me so you can see the sit downs and understand what I mean when I tell you the percentages of content I'll be doing. So let's just get into it. 2023, my channel will most likely look like 30% reviews and recommendations of tea. That is because I just literally need to drink the tea that I have, and what better way to do it than to just review. 10% will be like conversations like these, the sip and shares, the tea chats, relatable tea experiences, 20%. I don't really know what that means, but it kind of goes along with the conversation. So maybe we'll call that like 30% sip and shares. 30% teas I drink in a day. Those are really fun. People like those. I like those too. I hate editing those, but I actually really like those. So I hope to do more of those. And again, I have so much tea, so why can't I do it? I can. And then 10% is hauls, which is a drastic difference from my previous ratio. So again, I don't intend to just buy so much tea. I should say that I do have a package of Honey and Sons sitting in the foyer. But again, like I have tea. I'm not getting into why I bought that, but that was like a repurchase of teas I love, right? That they came out with. So we'll put that there. So I'm not going to repeat what I said. I put it on the screen. We're good. What's the motivation though? So why are you doing it like this, KJ? In case anyone cares. I don't care. Well, first of all, I need to declutter. Okay. At the top of every year, I'm like, look, I need less stuff. My family just bought Gordon a ton of toys and Christmas presents, and I'm very thankful, but also very overwhelmed. So I'm decluttering the physical space and sipping down. I also want increased interaction. So like, it's not obvious, but I still watch YouTube videos weekly at least. And I don't always comment because I'm watching them on my phone as I'm multitasking something else. But I still like participate in the community, and I just don't put myself out there. And I want to be out there, and I want people to talk to me because, again, the whole point of this is because I like talking about tea. I also want to develop the motivation. We're still here. Develop and refine my interests and preferences. They're ever changing, but that's just a motivation. And then two, Jesus Christ, we're on 4, guys. I am heavily diverting funds this year away from tea purchases to house things. Again, earlier I said that, you know, when I was living my best tea life, I was a single woman without children, without a home. All of those have changed, right? So some of our 2023 goals for our house is to paint our house because we have cedar siding. And we got a new roof last year. Woo. We have a lot of stuff going on. So like, it can't just be willy-nilly on the tea, especially since I have so much. All right. So then third section is the positive externalities. So what good things become of this that may not have been the original motivation? So 1, I have a reduced number of teas. That's just good for everybody. Okay. It accomplishes my declutter goal, my sip down goal. That's it. 2 is that I will build and strengthen the connections that I already have with people in my tea community. The third one is I actually will try a lot of tea. Like I have a lot of tea that I've hauled. Tea that is unopened. I have no idea what this tea tastes like. I might love it. I might hate it, but at least I'll know. You know what I'm saying? And then really, guys, the positive externality that really should have been like a motivation. I want to improve my video editing time. Video editing and skills, just because like I bought a camera. I'm pretty sure it was a Canon. This is like an $800 camera. I also subscribe to Adobe, not Photoshop, the other one where you edit like film. That's costly, and it's because I wanted to invest heavily in my YouTube channel and make my videos super interactive. I was gonna say interactionable. And I want them to be clean and crisp and pretty. And I want words and what is this? Stuff, you know, like on the screen. And I want it to look good. So more videos will help me do this, okay? And then overall, less tea equals less physical space occupied, which is less anxiety, because that's really what it's doing to me. More tea drank equals more happiness, equals more ritualistic joy, okay? And then more YouTube equals less sadness about not being more present on YouTube, which I was. So that's, let me just go to the next page, make sure there's nothing there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm actually really glad this video isn't a half hour long, but it really is just me thinking out loud. So let's summarize. YouTube is like a commitment. Times are changing. TikTok's out there. I can't commit to TikTok right now. But I want to be here. I want to talk to you guys. I want to interact about tea. I want to try tea. I want to refine my palate and share it. I also am like kind of active on my tea Instagram, but all I do is like heart stuff, like less commenting. And I'm probably there like once a week, which is not a lot. We'll definitely miss the people who have finished their time on YouTube for now, for this kind of content, for tea content. But there's always, you know, new faces. I've subscribed to like a few new people in the past month. Excuse me. So again, there's lots of opportunity. I also just want to say, like, if you are considering doing something, even if it's not TeaTube, and you're worried about like how many people already do it, or the audience that the people who already do it have, saturation things, don't worry about that, right? Every market is oversaturated, but everybody has their preference. There's 1,000 tea companies, straight teas, teas that work with the farmers who do it directly, big conglomerates like David's Tea, also large conglomerates, but like maybe better business practices like Adagio. Like there's so many, and small businesses, local businesses, tea companies. But you know, most of them are making it work. And some tea companies do close their doors, but for the most part, most of them stay. So if you are considering doing something and you think there's already a lot of people there, we can make space for you. There can be space made for you. The world is big, okay? And you will always be somebody's cup of tea. Even if it's not everybody's, somebody will want to see you. So if all you're looking for is just interaction and community, do it. Okay, I don't know where that little motivation speaker came from, but we'll just leave it there. My boy's waking up from a nap and I'm gonna be done rambling, but for the most part, this is just me. It's January 2nd. I'm excited to like hop back into it. More things coming, obviously. Really need to film my like tea cabinet video so we can see where we're starting, and it'll be fun to know like where we end and to see the progress as it happens in real time. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Again, I do still want to know what your first tea of the year was. I feel like that's like somehow sacred, like it matters on some large level. So please do share that. And if you've been here for a while, just say hi because I miss you. And if you made it to the end, go you. Go you. I didn't even give a blurb about my Christmas tree because Christmas is past. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it in the comments, but I'm not gonna do it. All right. Happy 2023, guys. Best of luck. And we'll see you around.